Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and in this video, I'd like to discuss the best picture we have of Rishi Sunak's regard amongst Conservative Party members as his net satisfaction ratings have crashed into negative, very negative, after the last few weeks. Is there anyone left flying the banner for Rishi Sunak, and is this just more ammunition for those wanting to bring him down? But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel. So the latest Cabinet League tables out. On the ConservativeHome website, they use a panel of known Conservative members to rate their senior leaders in Parliament each month. I don't know how good they are at making it very representative of the party membership, but it is the best we have available because they do at least verify, I gather. Rishi Sunak has crashed into negative approval ratings this month. Like he's on minus 25.4%, minus 25.4, sorry. Now, for context, last month he was on plus 7.1. He's gone from plus 7.1, not very good, but positive, down to minus 25. Now, whatever he's done in the past month has been considered really very bad by the membership. Whether it be sacking Braverman, his moves to distance himself from the culture wars, the fact that he doesn't sound convincing on the Rwanda plan, a realisation that Sunak can change his top team, but not the party's polling, or just the way he allowed himself to be humiliated last week over his petulant and self-destructing treatment of the Greek Prime Minister. Whatever the reason, party members do not seem happy. You know, we can get a bit of additional context by looking at James Cleverly's dissent. Now, in last month's poll, Cleverly was top. Why? Because the Tories were weaponising the latest conflict in the Middle East for their culture wars, and Cleverly was the Foreign Secretary getting all the positive photo opportunities. This month, after becoming Home Secretary and sounding like he's not terribly interested in crackpot schemes like the Rwanda plan, he's tumbled from top place on plus 71.8 down to plus 10.6. Apart from anything else, this alone shows two things. First, if this is representative of the general feeling amongst Conservative members, they are as fickle as hell. It's not like Cleverly has been responsible for any calamities or negative headlines in the last few weeks. To rise so high and drop so low in the space of a few weeks really does show that party members are not really thinking very deeply about these sorts of things. Second, it shows just how fixated they have become on the culture wars. Cleverly goes from being a sort of poster boy for one culture war, albeit not deliberately, to tearing down their main culture war, and his net favourability suffers very badly immediately. If there's one thing I think we can confidently read into this, it is that the Tory party members are not really interested in pragmatism. More evidence for my belief that for the next leadership contest, whenever it is, whichever two names go to them on the ballot, they will pick the craziest option. Before being sacked, Suella Braverman's rating was quite good, plus 43.5. Her rating's not shown in this month's because it's just about government performance, so she's not included now. But you would imagine it's not been damaged, given that her replacement has suddenly dropped in approval. She may even have enhanced it. As for Sunak, I mean, it's not even that he started off with a good rating and then lost it due to his failure. In last December's poll, we go back a full 12 months, he'd only been leader for just over a month. He was on plus 13.1. I mean, it was one of the lowest in his cabinet at the time. Kemi Badenoch has been consistently high and is this month's leader, presumably because she keeps saying how great Brexit is going with no evidence to back it up, mostly because the evidence says the opposite. Esther McVeigh's got a very good approval rating. The Minister for Common Sense, who had an absolute disaster of a question time last week where she was made to look a proper prat, is somehow welcomed by most Tory members, we're told. All paints a picture of a membership incredibly detached from reality. Now, don't get me wrong, all party memberships tend to be very different to the general public. You know, party members, we have more forthright political views. There's a tendency to be more tribal. And in the case of both Labour and the Conservatives especially, mostly tending away from the centre, which is where most of the actual voters exist. I've said before, party members are not really in tune with the general public feeling. And there is a risk that we're more likely to get sucked into echo chambers. But what we have here from Conservative Party members is a really very, very detached from reality worldview of things. Kemi Badenoch high. Why? She says Brexit is great. She hasn't delivered anything of benefit to their lives, but she talks the talk. Penny Mordaunt high. Why? She can hold a sword and hasn't shit the bed in any PR gaffes. Johnny Mercer high. Why? I actually have no idea. Maybe it's because he's really good at self-promotion and, like Mordaunt, hasn't actually attracted any damaging headlines. In fact, if you look at the top ministers, they tend to be the ones who are just not attracting bad press. They're not achieving anything, but they're not damaging the party reputation. Maybe that's their bar now. Doesn't make things worse for us. I noticed that David Cameron begins on negative approval ratings. His return doesn't seem to have been welcomed by the party faithful. Not sure if that's because of Cameron himself, maybe cutting and running after Brexit because, or it could be that they're all now hardened Brexiteers. They don't trust him, having led the Remain camp. Or maybe just because of the role he inevitably played in the sacking of Braverman. For whatever reason, none of Sunak's very top team are popular. James Cleverly is the most popular on plus 10.6. That is by far and away the most popular of the top four. You've got David Cameron on minus 4.9, Jeremy Hunt on minus 13.4, and Rishi Sunak, the lowest of the low, on minus 25.4. And I'll tell you what message this sends out to rebels within the party, especially on the right. Sends out the message that the party might actually welcome a complete change of leadership now. Rishi Sunak just seems to be in more and more danger here, a consequence of not only failing to establish authority, but most importantly of all, failing to give the Tories any realistic hope of winning the election. Hope is all he needed, just to keep them in line. The fact that, because they're in a situation where, it risks serious instability if they try and change the leader again. It's only because it's hopeless that would give them any sort of incentive. Never mind the latest clown to be made party chair who is insisting that they're going to win the election. Very few believe it. Importantly, very few Conservative MPs believe it. It's not even that Labour still have a healthy lead over the Conservatives. It's that lead just hasn't come down. Every now and then they get a little bit of a boost in the polls like they did a couple of weeks ago. And they get all excited. Oh, it was because of this. Oh, brilliant. All right, we're back on the road now, back on the road. And then a week or two later, it springs back, corrects itself. And they all go, oh, what happened? What happened is polls go up and down. Look at the long-term trend. The long-term trend is unmistakably going nowhere. Sunak became less and less popular personally. He's now essentially at Liz Truss levels of popularity. There must surely come a point when, never mind the right of the party, but other Tory MPs decide that maybe they stand a better chance with a leader whom the public can give the benefit of the doubt. Even if they say, well, we don't think we've got anyone better, but we have some that the public don't know are worse. Get someone in who can have a honeymoon period that might last all the way to the election. They may still lose, but maybe not as badly. Now, I'm not saying that would be the right thinking, but it's very hard to say it would be the wrong thinking. You can understand it. And if this poll is representative of the party membership's feelings, imagine what Tory MPs are being told when they go to their local party meetings, meeting the members. But there we are. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.